Quick demo with this guy. Should be able to see me in there. Red, orange, and yellow guy. My beard is blue. Yeah, some people call me nearly headless Nick when I'm in there. I usually point out that I'm the red, orange, and yellow because we're looking for cold spots. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't know Harry Potter?
I read the fourth, got to the fourth.
Okay. So the cold spots in there. And by the way, me being red, orange, and yellow means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame. Sorry, fellas. That's how that goes. The cold spots are going to be blue and black. We're always going to have blue and black in here. I'm looking for those blue and black areas to move. I want them to take shape or to start moving. When I say take shape, I normally want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully that's what we'll capture with it again. I love to give you stats about the equipment that you're using just so you have the expectation of me not being Zach Bagans. But I capture about 4 to 5 pieces on this guy per year, not per episode. However, this is a FLIR thermal imaging camera. It's not a phone app you guys are going to be able to go home and download. I like to also point that out. But again, I'm not a TV show host. I don't make things up. I will tell you that just maybe 4 investigations ago, I caught probably the largest anomaly I've ever seen. It actually covered my entire body, starting with my ankles, and then slowly worked its way up and moved around and bustled, and it was the weirdest thing, and because there was no cold spot around me at that time. I caught it during the review. But anyway, back to the camera. The camera will also show you the blue dot that's bouncing around the screen. That is the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. I'm looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops. So it's about 70 degrees out here for us ambient throughout our time together. So I'm going to be looking for 55 degrees and colder. Now granted, that could be a can on the ground, a sign that caught some wind, a piece of glass, a windshield. I'm looking for that 55 and colder to move. So that's really, I'm looking for it to like kind of speculate going across in the event that we don't actually have a full blue person walking towards us. So yeah, super fun. So with this camera, we're going to use it for about half the night, and then we're going to swap the camera out to a different style of camera based off the type of ghost that we're going to be dealing with at that location. You'll see that we're going to do a lot of swapping back and forth and making sure everything is good to go. So with this camera, Beth, yeah, when it looks like a pressed button is when you're recording. And we are fortunate enough that there are no cars in here tonight. It's a good Monday. I don't know who the hell this person is, like way in the back, just kind of staring.
I think they came out of that building.
Oh, they're probably working out of it.
Yeah, because I saw that building door move.
So, is this what you guys thought you signed up for?
Kinda. This is. I thought it was gonna be like, all right, they're gonna walk us around, and then we get to walk around, but like this is cooler.
I'll take that. Wasn't fishing, but I'll take it.
Right. No, this is no, I'm enjoying this very much. So.
Hopefully these officers just kind of stay out of our way.
Yeah.
I don't like looking over my shoulder all night, making sure I'm doing the right things.
Imagine. No, this is definitely stuff that I'm into. Like my family tree, me even is within my own family has been very aware of like ghosts and spirits that show up, knowing things when they happen, talking to people that just died. So like for me, this is kind of, I love it. But what's great is that he's totally on board with that as well. Like, I don't know if he has so much of the experiences, but he loves it.
So this was more your idea than his?
No, he's the one that was like, no, this is what we're doing. And I was like, perfect. Which is why we're engaged today. Well, we've been together 3.5 years. We've been together for a while.
Question.
Yeah.
Good for you.
We've been living together for a while, but yeah, we had a pregnancy and a miscarriage within the last month.
Wow.
And like, we were like, hey, no, it is time. So that's kind of what led to this. And I was like, no, we're good. This is time. But this was really his idea, and I was stoked. So, yes.
You guys can feel free to like swap devices between the two of you as well, and I'll let them know that too. I usually just say, just try to keep it with who you came with. It's the only thing that I ask.
Perfect.
Because everything gets sanitized.
That's great. Yeah.
So.
Will not be able to see anything we could do. So if there was anything that you would like to say, anything you would like to be heard by others, you'll have to go through the editing. So Miss Elizabeth, do you move past one of the other three? When you're close to one of the other three, you can pick up on them, but otherwise, you cannot pick up on them. It's happy. And in front of you, is the long hair. You might come home when you're married. What your favorite color was, because if you let her know when you're fixing to leave her alone.
This stuff is just bouncing between radio stations.
You listen to what the radio stations say.
I know, that's weird. Look at that.
He
In your
said that
mind,
we can switch anytime.
in your mind, you're just thinking, oh, well, that's
I would
just
like to
something
switch
random.
with you at some point.
Yeah. But I don't, Eliza, how did you pass away?
That's not the questions you ask. Eliza, what were your favorite things? What were your favorite flowers? What did you love to do?
Things that we have in our home, but it was DJ.
What did you have in your home? What color were the flowers? What did you love to do with your children?
It's just a little overwhelming because it changes so quickly.
And it's actually at its slowest setting.
Yeah.
So that's as slow as I can make it.
Yeah,
Have you caught anything weird going on with this
Not
guy?
that I've seen so
I
far.
almost wonder if you make it quicker, I wouldn't be picking up on so many just random. I'm not sure exactly, but if it goes quicker, if something communicates in that time, I could be like, well, it wasn't on that station for longer than X amount of time.
And that's the concept that they use for the TV shows.
Mm.
So when I'm teaching people how to use this, they often come up with the same scenario. Can you make this fast like you do on TV? I'm like, well, that's the thing. If you do that, we don't have the grab bag, and we're probably going to miss a lot of what they're trying to say. So that's why we slow it down, give them the opportunity to grab what they want. Therefore, the ratio of accuracy goes down, but we have a much longer list, so we can kind of sift through.
Okay.
So when I see where you're going, especially as a musician, I'm also a musician, so it's one of those pieces where you want to listen to every little thing, and it's so hard for me sometimes when I'm spot checking this thing to not write down every tiny detail that I'm doing. But I only do it for my investigations because I'm not spot checking. I'm doing the whole thing, start to finish. And I literally will come up with probably 10 to 12 pages of things.
Well,
I've
what
heard.
did you just have? I asked something like, what was your favorite flower? And you heard something in my home.
In my home. So the word home shows up here a lot. It's just a common vibe
Yeah.
of the location because of where we live. I stopped writing it down because it was so common.
Yeah.
I just get it all the time. But again, you're getting the gist. So
Yeah.
what was your favorite flower? In my home. But she would also do a lot of botany testing and experiments and crossbreeding and hybrid stuff and that kind of thing. Like that was her thing. So
I don't know why I asked that question. It was the first question on my mind.
keep going. We're gonna do like another 2 or 3 minutes just so he can get the good gist of this, and then I'll probably regroup us just because Trey's readings are really low.
Okay.
So I'm giving him an opportunity to kind of take a lap or two and see what's going on. He hasn't screamed yet, like he's had something over that 14, so I'm gonna go follow up with him. But
Okay.
keep going.
Yeah. Here, let's walk around while you ask if you're gonna do that.
I know now that you did a lot of botany, Eliza. You must have been very intelligent with your work. What were your favorite types of flowers and plants?
It's just so many DJs.
Don't talk over her.
I know.
Don't talk over her.
I'm just not used to it.
Were you happy with what you did at home? Did you feel peace at home? Anything that you would like to say I cannot record? Anything that you would like to hear, you must go to this man to my left.
It's hard to get my head out of radio world. It's just hard to get your head out.
We can switch anytime soon. At some point I would like to, but I know this was your home where we are. And I know you get people bigger often. But if you can walk up to one of the other 3 of the 4 individuals with me, not the one you see often, the other 3.
Eliza, you ever hurt? I don't know, man. Ooh. The static's weird, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough item.
Eliza, were you in love? So, this man and I became engaged today. Is there anything that you could tell me about marriage?
I think we're moving along here. It's just hard to remove my brain from that radio world and stuff.
Bethany, you can hit stop and relax your hands.
Where your fingers are, because if it blocks out that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, so in the event that another tour group or tourists are going to come through here, just point your camera at the ground.
Okay.
We'll understand the footage of your feet. So where they'll come out of, if another tour is going to come through here, is going to be the way we came in, or they're going to come out of the ivy wall, because there's a little gate right there. So
I'm like, come out of the wall.
yeah. So there's a gate right there from that parking lot over here. It's an easement. So with your readings over here, Trey, we're looking for 8 or above.
Okay.
Only because of the lamppost nearest gives off up to about a 7, so I like to make sure I go to an 8. So we'll see how Bethany does with that spirit box. Did you show her where the volume was? Did you
I
figure
found
Yeah,
it.
the wheel, right? Yeah.
So again, we're gonna basically stir shit up while we're here, and then we're gonna leave. We're gonna go up and around the corner. I'll give you a different camera that we're gonna be playing around with at that location, and we'll kind of see how things go. We'll get things from here over there, so we'll have to go out the way we came in because I've been kicked out of here. I can't take you all the way through. We'll talk about it at the end before we leave.
Okay.
Again, it's the fun part of the story. Just for shits and giggles, have you heard anything?
It's just been filtering through a lot,
Okay.
but not.
And again, even if you
I should have said that. It just came through.
Okay. She'll start to get the gist of it.
Younger girl came through.
You had baby girl, which is interesting.
a little humor.
That's me. Okay. All right. So she's getting the gist of it. Good. All right.
So he
where
said
the heck are you?
kind of keep some of us
You
in
are
it if
in
you can.
Philadelphia Alley.
But
This
go
used to be
down more
called
so we can get the
Duelers
vibe.
Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur in the city of Charleston in the 1700s. And I say some of the duels because it was illegal. They had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of those hiding spots. So every ghost tour comes down here. I know it doesn't look like that right now because you're here on a rando Monday. But I was actually going to take this out of my route.
I got my name. I got Bethany. Whoa.
Okay. Now we're on to something. Keep listening. If you're giving me too much, just so you know, I'm going to have you tone it down just so I can get through the history.
That was just a weird thing to hear.
Yep, understood. Because that's not a very common name.
Mom.
Yeah, you're almost too good at that.
I'm only giving you 3-letter words.
And it seems like it's just going nuts.
It's a little cold behind you, babe.
It's the...
Well, keep in
foliage.
mind that behind me is going to be
Yeah,
cold.
I got you.
This thing is just going ballistic.
That's what I said, yeah. It wasn't going like that when we were in that little,
Yeah.
where the house was. It wasn't going like that.
Getting it. No, it's probably the foliage.
So
there
what
we
he
go.
said is if
Okay.
dark spots move,
So this one here is tap. So it's not
I noticed
supposed to
that
be
if you
on
lean
right
it
now. Like, they
down-
want us to teach the ghost how to tap it, and it'll obviously make it go off.
there's a
But
spot
it
where
doesn't
everything
shut off
around
anymore.
us seems kind
Like, I
of
had
the
the
same temperature.
sensitivity
Yeah.
all the way down, but I've noticed every letter that you have has
Back up.
the tap underneath it. It tells you where it came from. So if it's coming from electromagnetic field, yeah, they're all coming from taps, and I'm not moving this thing.
Yeah, I haven't been touching it either. I've been holding it from underneath.
See how sensitive that is?
Oh, okay.
No wonder you're getting all these weird things. We might have to tuck this guy away, just because it's being faulty.
Yeah.
I don't get too many. There's a little pug. Anybody here have a pug?
No. I've got 5 dogs.
Yeah, it's a little too sensitive for my taste. All right, so back to why we're here. I was going to take this out of my route just because it is pretty much on every ghost tour, and you've already heard this story if you've done a ghost tour in Charleston. But this guy follows me around because we will be near a place of raised emotion for him for the remainder of our evening. He has a code word to let me know that he's around. It's not something you would commonly hear on the radio. So if it does show up on either your device or she says it out loud, I'll let you know what it is. And 2 of you will know what that code word is at the end of our night. I'll explain that once we get to our last stop. Because again, I don't like to reveal too much. So I hope you guys appreciate some of the methods that we're throwing here, where I'm not giving you too much
Yeah.
information up
Yeah.
front.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, because then you're not making stuff up.
I'm not
Right.
You know
yeah,
what I
I'm
mean?
not
Like,
building
we're
your brain
not.
up. Right. So, but here's how this story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up for Bethany while we're here, it's not coincidence, it's part of his name. We get it all the time. So anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. That's why when you were getting all the A's, I was like, maybe it'll spell out Amanda for us, because he knows we're coming. But anyway, Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's
Got
cash.
wives.
So the attorney tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So he comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. And on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. Sorry, I know you guys are taking an Uber back. But with that said, somebody walking by seen what was about to happen to the newcomer. That person walking by, his name was Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar to you guys at all, based on anything I've said so far?
R.I. Rhode Island.
You got it. So that Ouija board device that I just put away, it's the exact reason why we have it. I was getting RI, things being spelled out like victorious and stupid shit, and I was like, what's with this RI? And I was like, I didn't know who it was relative to, so I bought the Ouija board. We've had the Ouija board for about a year and a half, roughly at this point, and every time the RI has shown up on it, it is when I brought up Ralph's name only, nothing dealing with Rhode Island. Just like to show you how I study this shit.
13.4.
Holy mackerel.
What about the zero?
So this is me really excited. We don't normally see a whole lot in this alley. So the fact that you have a 13, which is something definitely over the 8.
I gotta take me home.
Country roads?
No, it
No?
wasn't country roads.
Okay.
Take me home at 13.4. Okay. So back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, hey dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. They'll rent you a room. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer. The two gents became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own with his medical practice. So Amanda gets wind of this because she's making his own money, and she's going to move down so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the damn story. Every haunted city you will ever visit ever will have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. This just happens to be a doctor. So why are we in this particular location while we're talking about this whistling happy guy of Dueler's Alley? Let's get into that. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. That's just the way it goes.
Right.
So they go see Richard III one night, and they are walking home talking about the new actress because they couldn't do it during the play because they weren't sitting next to each other. Doc thought that the new actress was great, and Ralph did not. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly between the two of them, and they go their separate ways. But Ralph, the next day, goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Well, Doc saw this and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Keep in mind, this argument started over an actress. I just like to point out how dumb shit was back in the 1700s.
And they're gonna kill each other.
Yeah, so they came down back to back, they took their 10 paces, they turned, Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot, which is often what happened at a duel. He didn't want to kill his friend, he just needed the courage to show up. But Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die either. He fell to the ground, his friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, on November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last statement.
13.
It is 1786. I don't know what 13 is, but I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
And gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor, guys. He probably
Right.
just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to, bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed.
Call the doctor.
Call the doctor. Not surprised you get the word doctor here all the time. So hopefully you got the word, something else in front of that, or whistling, or some kind of whistling part of a song. Happens all the time. Every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests to listen for the whistles. If you're down here on a Saturday afternoon, this is what it sounds like. Nice and quiet. Unless that air conditioning is running for that building right there, it's always this quiet down here. We're running a camera plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, more than likely will show up on the recording of one of these two devices. However, just like she heard the doctor, or called the doctor, I can't tell you how many times I'm doing a spot check and I hear the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor from a commercial immediately after. It happens all the time. Doctor.
Smile publicly.
So I'm going to get the call the doctor. If you're going to try this on your own while you're here, by the way, I've already told you I've been kicked out of here. You'll have to walk through on your own without me and the equipment, and use your voice recorders from your phone when you guys are just down here during the daytime, and try to capture that whistle. However, remember, every local knows this damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or
With
Queen
a
Street.
phone, they're gonna whistle.
Yeah, so we all whistle whenever we pass this alley anyway. It's just something we do here in Charleston. It's just a normal thing. So let's talk about how I got booted out of here. Here's the fun part. The alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there before Dueler's Alley. So it was probably during Dueler's Alley too, but the reason why the wall was there is because this was called Cow Alley. That was its nickname then, before Dueler's. The reason why is because this is where they kept all the livestock for the city of Charleston. So cows, goats, and chickens are down here. I know, weird spot to hold a bunch of livestock, but that's the way they did it. They started down there by Queen Street and started building it this way over the years, which is what we see now. So why am I telling you this? That means the bricks down at the other end by Queen Street are older than the ones we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children down there. There's a full handprint from a slave child in one of the bricks and some fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my groups all the way through there after telling them about it and just kind of point it out and we would move on. Well, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 people, they stopped around that damn brick and they're waiting for something to happen with their equipment. I know nothing's going to happen. You guys already know how I feel about cemeteries.
Shit.
That kid is not going to, is that what it says? We don't often get person terms on there.
Shit.
Sorry.
You were having your Tourette syndrome back there with the shit, fuck,
Yeah.
So maybe it'll give us fuck later.
Maybe.
See what happens. So I'm trying to boot them along. Again, nothing's going to happen. That kid's not staring at that brick in the afterlife.
Right.
And I'm just trying to be respectful because we're standing outside the dining room window of the mansion at the end of the alley. And I'm just trying to be respectful, like I said. But the new owner of the mansion came out. He was screaming his head off at me. My daughter was on the tour that night, thought it was hysterical. The dad's getting yelled at. She was about 14 years old. We moved on, and the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart, and
Yeah.
you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving and scarred me for life. So I don't do holidays anymore. I own my own business. I don't need to. But anyway, the next day I called my partner that brought me into tourism, and I was trying to figure out what to do next, and he's laughing at me because he already got the complaint. So basically he said, you're not allowed to go down that far. You're allowed to go down about halfway, and that's the cutoff point because it's considered residential past that. He's like, you got to reroute your group, man. I'm like, well, how the hell did you not realize that I was cutting through there every night, first off? So what I told my group that night was, I don't normally get into the next story we're going into because it's pirates. I'm into vampires. I would normally tell you a pirate story, but I've been kicked out of there too. And that's actually the place that they're monitoring for other tours. Like I told you guys about the trafficking officers, that's what they're monitoring, is to make sure nobody's going through that area where I would normally take you to talk about pirates. But back to that night. Somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate that we were going to be investigating. What's the first pirate you think of?
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, right. So most people think it's going to be a male pirate, not a female pirate. We are going to be discussing Anne Bonny because she does have a long history here in Charleston. So I was like, all right, maybe we'll get something. Took him around the corner, told him what I did know about pirates in Charleston, which wasn't much, by the way. And somebody else...
Since you said Anne Bonny, it's been female, 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 female.
Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300, and I didn't know what that meant. So I wrote it down, and I did the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial.
Oh.
Yeah, that's normally the reaction that I get. However, I was pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing, and all of my other bachelor degrees are also in different forms of writing. I like facts and data. Problem with pirate stories is that they come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. So you never know how accurate things are. Whenever you guys found some piece of evidence that could be true, I had to read like 5 books to verify one small piece of evidence. I came up with this great elaborate story because I've read 1 million books on pirates. I played video games, documentaries, you name it. I've done it with pirates. I'm all about it now. But I can't tell you the story anymore. So, very interesting piece, but again, both of these places I've been kicked out of, and we're definitely going to make sure that we are not even setting foot on the parking lot that they're monitoring right now. They're probably hiding in the shadows when we get over there, waiting to give me a damn ticket. So when we do get over there, we're going to swap cameras with what SKYLER's using, and we're going to be using a night vision infrared camera, and I'm going to give him this crazy spotlight, so hopefully he can actually spot our ghost for us, and I'll do a quick demo of what that looks like. So that's Remy, in case anybody was wondering. We're in his house. So if you don't watch Disney movies, go home and watch Ratatouille. His name was Remy.
Rat.
We will get things from Dr. Ladd from here moving forward. Because again, we'll always be near a place of raised emotion for him. We have to write down your name. Anything else specific that you recently heard in the last minute or minute and a half?
There was I Want to Go Home. After you mentioned the female pirate, there were a lot of female voices that came through.
So normally don't give a shit about gender, just because it's
right.
Again,
but when
Bumblebee.
you said it, it was one after
Noticeable.
another.
Got it.
Yeah.
Any other terms on your word list I need to know about?
Just curtain bride, known,
Bride.
shit, settle, reflect,
I like the bride piece of that.
publicly, smile, light, 9.
Did you say speak in publicly?
It said reflect publicly and smile.
I'm super stoked about the 13.4, just so you guys know. Again, it's a rarity that we see anything in this area like above that 8. I mean, again, it's a rarity. I might see something once a month at best. So most everything can be determined that it's coming from the light switches. So your 13.4, I'm stoked about. Cool.
I had the name David pretty loud, but I don't know if that was just scrolling through.
David. I have no idea who
That
this
could
guy
have just been scrolling through.
Yeah, but it is. But it
Right.
keeps showing up.
Yeah.
And I don't know who he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, David was very clear.
Yeah, I'm not writing it down because I'm done researching David. I have no idea what this guy is. It's pissing me off. I have a cousin named David, but he's alive. Like and he wouldn't be
There was-
haunting me because he has no idea what the
There
hell
was
I do.
a very clear David.
Yeah, it shows up all the damn time. And it's not just on a regular spirit box. I'm talking like it'll spell it out on the Ouija board device. We've had it on the word generator.
David's very upset apparently that you aren't paying attention to him.
Yeah, he could scream at me all he wants to. He's got to tell me who the hell he is first. Let's go ahead and hit the stop button. Well, actually, when you exit the alley, go ahead and hit the stop button, and that way we're not getting the Blair Witch going around because I'm going to take it from you after that. All right, Doc, you can follow us. You know the drill. By the way, does anybody know what this smell is? You guys smell this tree at all?
No.
It's not as strong tonight. Nice.
I can smell. Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know what it is, but I smell
Magnolia?
it.
Nope. This is an anise tree.
It's what it?
Anise.
Okay.
The spice anise that you would use in like black licorice.
Okay.
That's what this
Okay.
is.
Oh.
So if you look real close, you can actually see like some of the stars
Yeah.
like you would buy them at a store. So they would put that in a jar, and you would use
Okay.
that as a spice. You would just grind it down.
Huh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pull on
Interesting.
the branch
Pondering a life,
that
just so you know.
much. And then this turns into honeysuckle
Praying
in the
for
spring.
family.
Nice.
So you know which time of year it is based on is the anise tree in bloom or is honeysuckle in bloom. And then this place is covered in bees, and I have to be super quick while we're down here.
I'll cut it off here. We get out of the alleyway.
Had Bible and praying.